Good morning. It's been a few days. My life has gotten a little bit busier in the last couple of weeks, I should say. I told y'all I work from home. Well, now I'll be going in to the office, I guess, once a week, which isn't a bad thing. But it is in New Orleans, so I have to make a little bit of a drive, which for most people is nothing, considering how long some people spend in a car going to and from work every day. And it gets me out of the house, etc. So, while I was there, just wanted to state this. I mean, it had already been said to me, but New Orleans still requires the vaccine cards to get into any restaurants for sure, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think it's becoming like, the communist city of the Deep South. It's quite pathetic. I don't know quite how to explain what exactly is going on. The people who used to be all about freedom and expressing yourselves, your artists, your musicians, your, free spirit types, seem to adhere to these rules a lot better when someone from their side is implementing the rules. I guess is the best way to put it. And then when you're feeding on fear, it's just a win-win situation for the people in charge, right? I'm so disgusted by all this. But anyway, I went to a meeting on NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and how to mint them and create them. One thing I'm learning about is accounting when it comes to cryptocurrency and how to handle it, given what we're dealing with. So, also in the cryptocurrency world, there's a whole bunch of new vocabulary. So my vocabulary is quite broad, but I think I've probably added at least another 100 words to my vocabulary in the last 2 to 3 months, which for the nerd side of me is exciting because I love learning new things. I constantly am looking for new things to learn that are real and true. I mean, that falls over into me researching what's been going on in the world. So that's just part of my personality and who I am. But the state of the world today is quite concerning. I don't need to tell most of you. The amount of lies that are happening is beyond measure. If we go back in history, and if we are to believe what is written to be somewhat true, there hasn't been this push, as hard of a push, propaganda-wise, since probably World War II, honestly. Well, no, I can't say that. The Vietnam War was a big propaganda thing also. Yeah. And for those who were born anywhere after the 70s or the 80s, even your 90s, aren't going to really have a full picture of what exactly is going on. And anybody older than me with their eyes wide open could see even more than I do. But the change is amazing. I'm in an office where you have very young people and all the way up to me. I'm the oldest one. And the diversity of thought is unbelievable. And I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking about things like that. I'm just talking about functioning. The difference between a 20-something-year-old today and when I was 20-something is a marked difference. They're used to full automation of everything. Click on a button and your answer is there. If you have to work around anything or come up with your own solution, a lot of times, they don't handle that very well. It's a difference in the way they think. And I'm not talking about all 20-somethings. I'm just talking about a good portion that I've run into. But that I noticed in the last couple of weeks. The different approaches, the different ways people think. I mean, we grew up in a generation where the computers were not prevalent in our lives, cell phones were not. We made it to adulthood without all that. Actually, we made it 10 years, and I made it 10 years into adulthood without all that. And being a regular part of my life. And so when you're on the ground floor of creations and things sprout up in time, your formative years, you were used to life without all of the automation, so you don't expect it necessarily. And if it doesn't work, because we were on computers when they were dinosaurs, we have the ability to work around things much easier and have a more true critical thinking capability. See, in Common Core, they want to talk about this critical thinking, being a part of it. I'm here to tell you, as a former educator, that's garbage. Absolute garbage. There's no critical thinking in Common Core. And then with the way these children are being raised with all automation, they expect everything instantly. And the idea that they would have to think to solve a problem if the computer didn't work, the car didn't work, whatever it is that they maybe doesn't work, then, or if they don't have the money to pay somebody else to do it, they're pretty much done. They're done. I think it would be interesting if we could actually have, like a Congress politician boot camp where it would be filmed. I would love to see how many politicians know how to put gas in their own car, or change their own oil, or mow their own grass, or cook their own meal, make their own bed, clean a bathroom. Normal things that normal people do on a daily basis. I would love to see that for an extended period of time. Not for a week, not for just a month, a 6-month period. They'd have to go through like a Congress boot camp to see how actually regular people live and what it takes to make it. And then within those 6-month period of time, they have to live within their district. Not in the worst section of their district, but the average mean section, how much their people in their area make on average per year. Whatever that is, that's the location they need to be living in for 6 months. And that's the income they need to have for 6 months to see if they can do it. Then they come out of that 6 months with a better idea what people in their particular district have to deal with and live with every day. Even then, it wouldn't be complete, but they'd have an idea. Congress boot camp. And it would be quite entertaining to see them try and do regular things. You'd learn all about who they actually are instead of what they say. It'd be interesting to see what they can do as opposed to them running their mouths and vomiting lies. I think that would help us tremendously in gearing the character of these people. They wouldn't be foolproof, but it could be a start. I don't know what to say about all this, except that most of what you're seeing on television or you're hearing on a radio is colored with their own information, which I mean is basically lie. They build it up, make it seem more catastrophic than what it is, or less catastrophic than what it is, because that's the side they're on or whatever. But as far as getting direct information from our regular sources, that's been a joke for a very long time. You might get some partial truth, but who really knows the real truth anymore? They have managed in the last few years to totally negate any faith I have in any sort of journalistic ability at all when it comes to, your regular sources. And even some of your side sources are questionable. And they have completely negated my faith in the medical field. I already had my doubts because of my experience in the past, but now I know that if I have to walk into a doctor's office, I better be as nearly as educated as they are. I better do my own research and make sure that what's coming out of their mouths is even possibly what I should or should not be doing, which is sad. Or the medicine they're giving me, should I take it? So going to the doctor is going to be more of a, research experience from here on out for me. And I suggest that for you also. And I think God has been testing me because my significant other was having severe problems, and I was trying to pinpoint what it was because he had a doctor's appointment, but it was for a while, and he was having waves of pain. And by the time I got done with my research, I told him to get off the Metamucil because it can cause some of those issues, because he started taking it thinking maybe it would help. He wasn't taking it before. So I told him to get off of it, get on a probiotic, and I went and got him a really good probiotic. And then I went and bought peppermint tea and peppermints, and within, I would say, 8 hours, there was much, much improvement. And by the time he went to the doctor, she said that he did exactly what he needed to do. And it wasn't something major. It might have been a partial blockage, and and I also got him on liquids for about 48 hours, which completely turned things around. So I'm not saying that you are able to diagnose everybody doing research, but because there are some things that are way more complicated, but at least you can have an idea and narrow it down to what it could possibly be. And if they give you a diagnosis, make sure you go home and you read up and make sure that you understand what it is that they're saying to you completely, if at all possible. If you don't understand, have somebody else read it and explain it to you. It's going to be critical from here on out to have a higher level of knowledge than most people have even considered before. But it's going to be key to your survival in all aspects. All aspects. Because now we know you cannot trust what they call, an expert. So make sure that you take care of yourself and you do what you need to do to make sure that you're not walking into any situation blind or ignorant or stupid, because that'll be taken advantage of, as we can see in the last few years. Stupidity is their gold mine. Ignorance is their gold mine. As long as we can keep the majority of the population, or a significant percentage of them, stupid and or ignorant, then we can control them. And that's it. Bottom line. That's it. But we'll see. Oh, there is one thing I wanted to mention that gave me a little bit of hope. I started watching Dr. Campbell, 2 years ago when this started, because he's a highly educated nurse, critical care nurse. England, I think he has his, I don't know if he has an MD, but I know he definitely has his master's in nursing, whatever. He's highly respected. And he's been researching this from the very beginning. And finally, after a year, I had to turn him off because, he was hanging on to his profession. He was hanging on to the medical field to, as the truth. And I watched a video yesterday or the day before. For the first time, I watched Dr. Campbell in a long time. And this poor man, if you want to see what it looks like to come to the realization that your whole world that you believed in and the people that you believed in are possibly lying to you, are lying to you. If you want to see a red pill moment, I guess it's red pill, I don't know, I can't keep track of all these terminologies. But if you want to see somebody who's just beginning to really get slapped in the face and, having a come to Jesus moment on what's actually going on, go watch Dr. Campbell. It's, I think he's an honorable man. I think he's somebody who truly cares about people, and he's been doing this to try and help people. And I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him because after reading the first 50,000 pages that was released by, the medical company starting with a P, you can see it. You can see the devastation. Because if you believe in something wholeheartedly, especially in the medical field, and you go and tell hundreds and thousands of people who follow you what to do, what your suggestion is, based on the fact that you believe what's being currently reported, and then you come to find out that a lot of what you were saying could possibly not be true. I mean, the moral responsibility for what you have done. Even though you didn't do it on purpose. It's a little bit much. And I really believe he's an honorable man, and I really truly feel sorry for him. Because all of us have an idea of what that feels like, but to have put yourself out there for 3 years or 2 years and pushing something that turns out to possibly not be good and possibly dangerous for some people, that's got to be devastating. It's got to be devastating. That'd be like me teaching somebody something on and how to do it, and then finding out that the way I taught them was completely wrong and was going to set them up for failure for the rest of their lives. I have a conscience, so that would bother me extremely. So it's sad. But then there are others who still don't even have a clue or don't want to face it. And then we've got other issues going on. How you can believe any of them after everything that's happened. I mean, the sickness is real, ladies and gentlemen. The sickness is real. So that's a little update with me. I am paying very close attention as much as I can to what is going on. All of you need to prepare for the monetary situation that is coming. The inflation, of course, is obvious. I think it's going to get much worse. I mean, I even told my kids that there may come a point where I can't go to New Orleans once a week, or even my better half's commute, which is only like an hour in traffic, it might come to the point where you have to stay at the office, sleep there, get a cot. As long as you have a bathroom and possibly a way to walk, there might be times where you have to spend the night 2 to 3 nights a week, so that, and in their office situation, it's nothing but guys. They could actually do that. But, people are going to have to get creative on how they're going to have to handle this. Carpooling is really going to have to become a thing. It used to be a big thing, but it's going to have to really become a necessity now. We're going to have to rethink and rework our way around some situations, and as much as we possibly can. So, everybody hang in there. Prayers for all. I pray every day. And be thankful and grateful for everything that you do have, and enjoy the time and enjoy things the way they are now, and try and have a positive attitude on the fact, and have faith in yourself that you can handle this. And if you can't, get people around you can trust, who can do the research, have the knowledge in certain fields that you don't, maybe. Or you can ask questions too. But it's past time to stop walking around with blinders on, like race horses, where you can't see on the sides of you, and you're just blindly going forward and not understanding the whole picture. Those days need to be over if you wish to survive. Y'all have a great day, a great rest of the week, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye for now.